This is a podcast from the Daily Grind. To get all the news delivered straight to your ear, visit our Facebook page or download our app. Now, here's today's audio newspaper.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Grind, everybody. Today is Tuesday, the 11th of October. It's Dussehra, so happy Dussehra to everyone. In the holiday spirit, we're only covering spent or sports and end news today. And there's plenty to talk about. In cricket, New Zealand are in a world of trouble, which is not generally something you say to a side that scored almost 300 runs in their first innings of a test match. At Indore, in the final match of a series that India has already won, the Kiwis replied to India's 557 with 299 of their own, meaning that India took a 258-run lead. They extended that lead to 276 by the end of day's play, and so now, with 2 days remaining, a whitewash looks more than likely. Spinner Ravichandran Ashwin was particularly on song for India as he picked up 6 wickets and affected 2 run-outs. Coming to football, as there is an untimely international break going on, we won't get into things in much detail, though we will keep track of 1 or 2 stories. First, there was a World Cup qualifier between France and the Netherlands last night. Now, we're really interested in ensuring that the Dutch make it to Russia in 2018 after missing out on Euro 2016, but they're not doing themselves any favours. After beating Bulgaria 4-1 a couple of nights ago, this time they've lost 1-0 at the Amsterdam Arena to a solitary goal by Paul Pogba. France and Sweden now occupy the top 2 positions, one of which is direct qualification, while the other is a playoff spot. The Netherlands are 3 points behind them. And meanwhile, Spain and Barcelona defender Gerard Piqué has announced that he will retire from international football after the 2018 World Cup. The decision may have had something to do with the fact that they don't always like him much in Spain, partially because of the Madrid-Barca divide, partially because he's vocal on Twitter, partially because of the Spain versus Catalonia thing, but mostly we think because he's with Shakira and they're jealous. Also, Piqué was recently accused of cutting off the sleeves of his Spain jersey in order to protest the Spanish flag, kinda like Colin Kaepernick in the US. But it turns out that the long sleeves didn't have any Spain flag on them, and the newspapers that ran the story later apologized. Over a glittering career, Piqué has won 4 Champions Leagues, 3 with Barca, 1 with Man United, 6 La Ligas, 1 Premier League, 3 FIFA Club World Cups, 4 Copa del Reys, 1 European Championship and 1 World Cup. And before heading over to entertainment, US Olympic swimming star and false alarm raiser Ryan Lochte is engaged now. He's going to be marrying Kyla Ray Reid, who is a model. So congrats to them. To Bollywood now. There's little that's filmy to report from B-Town, though there is some more India-Pakistan doing the rounds as all the actors try to audition for the lead role in the Arnab Goswami biopic. This time it's the censor board chief, Pehlaj Nailani, who we're shocked to learn has said something that may even be sensible. He said that all Indians should be thinking of the soldiers who are fighting terrorism and that actors' views were insignificant. He almost makes you think he's normal until you remember that he cut out a kissing scene from James Bond. Speaking of India-Pakistan relations, Twitter exploded yesterday after news broke that Pakistani bizarre music sensation Tahir Shah was coming out with a new song called Mermaid. Along with it was a picture of him as a mermaid. People on Twitter suspected that this may be in retaliation for the surgical strike, but then later the whole thing was called a hoax. But in songs that are not a hoax, there's a new one from Rock On 2. It's called Manzar Naya and it's got Farhan Akhtar singing. It's not a concert power ballad, more an acoustic small people huddle performance, and it's really quite nice. The song is Manzar Naya and Rock On 2 releases on 11th November. And there is also a rumor that a sequel to 2014's Queen may be in the works. We'll let you know. Now, in Hollywood, we'll begin with Idris Elba. You may remember that there was to be a film called Bastille Day. That's now called The Take in America, and it begins with some counter-terror agency regrouping after a bombing attack in Paris. Idris Elba, who's from the agency, namely the CIA, captures a pickpocket played by Richard Madden, or Robb Stark from Game of Thrones, who was inadvertently made an accomplice in the bombing. He's keen to clear his name though, and so the two join up to take on terrorists and beat up baddies in an all-action flick. The Take releases on November 18th. Also in things that may interest Idris Elba fans, an early trailer for Stephen King's Dark Tower starring Elba may have leaked online yesterday. It's been taken offline again, though that probably means that a proper trailer could be on its way. The Dark Tower also stars Matthew McConaughey and will release on February 17th. And last in our Idris Elba trilogy, you'll remember that a number of actors were set to be in the frame to take on the role of James Bond after the latest film in the series, Spectre. Daniel Craig had said that he'd rather slit his wrists than play the role for a fifth time. And hence, a lot of actors were named, chief among them Tom Hiddleston and Idris Elba, who are both also Asgardians in the Marvel Universe. Idris Elba was top choice among those who wanted to add a bit of diversity to the British MI6. Now, however, Daniel Craig has said that he doesn't exactly mind playing James Bond again. So tough luck, guys. Staying with famous Britons, there is a new trailer for Kate Beckinsale's Underworld Blood Wars. The vampires and Lycans have been at war for centuries, and they've turned the world into a battlefield. For Beckinsale's Selene, it's personal, as everyone she's ever loved has been hunted. Now the Lycans have a new leader, and they're also after Selene and her daughter, who is missing. Beckinsale plans to fight back, but elsewhere there's a plot to use her to settle the war. There's the guy who plays Tywin Lannister, and then also Edmure Tully from Game of Thrones, and they cause Selene to head way north, where she encounters some really powerful and mysterious creatures. Kinda crazy, but then this is the fifth film in the series, and there must be something to it. Underworld Blood Wars releases on January the 6th. Then there's finally a release date for The Circle starring Emma Watson, based on the book of the same name by Dave Eggers. It'll be out on April the 28th, and we'll be reading the book's blurb out at the end of this episode. Next, Guy Ritchie is reportedly going to direct the live-action Aladdin remake. It'll keep the musical nature of the 1992 classic intact apparently. And in weird superhero news, Rebecca Hall and Luke Evans have been cast in a film called Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman, about a Dr. William Moulton Marston who created Wonder Woman and, among other things, the lie detector test. The story is particularly interesting because of Marston's personal life. He was married to Elizabeth, who will be played by Rebecca Hall, and the pair of them lived together in a relationship with Olive Bryn, who will be played by Bella Heathcote. Together, the three of them had 4 children, in what sounds like something straight out of the Mahabharata. Back to trailers, Keanu Reeves is back as hitman John Wick in Chapter 2. He's in Rome getting a jacket made, and he also has a couple of other toys in order to infiltrate a party. Things move on from there, and there's a lot of stylish shooting and fighting. Lawrence Fishburne thinks that John Wick isn't great at retiring, but Wick tells him that he's working on it. Not much in the way of a plotline in this one. John Wick Chapter 2 releases on February the 10th. Next up, in animation, there's a Netflix trailer called Troll Hunters. Beneath your feet, there's a secret world where good trolls live and evil trolls lurk. It's protected for centuries by the Troll Hunter, whose power comes from an amulet. But the amulet for some reason winds up in the basement of a regular old guy who's suddenly entrusted with safeguarding 2 worlds. He will now have to deal with silly trolls and evil trolls, and along the way, he also gets some friends. Troll Hunters is by DreamWorks, and it'll release on Netflix on December the 23rd. Then, in environmental trailers, we have something a bit special. Planet Earth 2, the sequel of the incredible BBC documentary series that was voiced by David Attenborough, is coming as early as this month. While the first one, which released 10 years ago now, was an 11-part series, this one will have just 6 episodes. But then again, technology is that much more advanced now, and Attenborough is once again going to present. It really doesn't get any more glorious than this. We'll quickly go through a lot of superhero and related news now. There is a trailer out for DC's Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. The first season contained 16 episodes and helped the network CW build a pretty solid universe around their properties. The new trailer seems to be amping things up in that respect, as there are more superheroes, more villains, more powers, and more interlinkages as the Legends meet the Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl, and all in this variable time universe. So there's a lot of mindless action here for fans. Legends of Tomorrow Season 2 debuts in just 2 days' time. Meanwhile, Marvel has non-live action plans. Agent Carter starring Hayley Atwell may have been one of the few such shows to have been cancelled, having lasted just 2 seasons, but she'll be back portraying the character once again pretty soon in the Avengers Assemble cartoon. She'll appear in Season 4, Secret Wars. You may want to check that out. In things that are guaranteed to be cooler than the Avengers cartoon, there's a release date for the second season of Netflix and DreamWorks' Voltron the Legendary Defender. It'll come out on January the 20th, and it'll be a seamless continuation of Season 1. so that's one to pencil in. Coming to music now, Bruno Mars has announced a new album and has released the title track as well. It's called 24 Karat Magic or 24K Magic. In the video, the pint-sized sensation seems to be cruising around Vegas along with his posse, while a party is raging all around them. There's all sorts of interesting clothing patterns and colors, and a bit of skin too. The song is pretty unremarkable though. 24K Magic, the song, is available on YouTube, and the album of the same name will release on November the 18th. Which, by the way, is the same day as the Top Gear sequel, The Grand Tour, comes out. There's a trailer for that too, which we'll put on our page. And lastly in this episode, as promised, here is the blurb for The Circle by Dave Eggers, soon to be a movie starring Emma Watson and Tom Hanks. When May Holland is hired to work for The Circle, the world's most powerful internet company, she feels she's been given the opportunity of a lifetime. The Circle, run out of a sprawling California campus, links users' personal emails, social media, banking, and purchasing with their universal operating system, resulting in one online identity and a new age of civility and transparency. As May tours the open-plan office spaces, the towering glass dining facilities, the cozy dorms for those who spend nights at work, she's thrilled with the company's modernity and activity. There are parties that last through the night, there are famous musicians playing on the lawn, there are athletic activities and clubs and brunches, and even an aquarium of rare fish retrieved from the Marianas Trench by the CEO. May can't believe her luck, her great fortune to work at the most influential company in the world, even as life beyond the campus grows distant, even as a strange encounter with a colleague leaves her shaken, even as her role at the Circle becomes increasingly public. What begins as the captivating story of one woman's ambition and idealism soon becomes a heart-racing novel of suspense, raising questions about memory, history, privacy, democracy, and the limits of human knowledge. And with that, we'll be calling it a day for today. Have a happy Dasera. We'll be back with a whole lot of important news tomorrow. I'm Ankit Prasad, and this has been The Daily Grind.
This is a podcast from The Daily Grind. To get all the news delivered straight to your ear, visit our Facebook page or download our app.